Okay, we're now recording. This is Sisters of the Fork, which is because we've stabbed each other with forks, but we're not saying who yet. That's not this episode. We are four sisters, and yeah, just doing a podcast together. So, since it's getting close to that holiday season, we're going to kind of talk about growing up homeschooled with a very religious family around the holidays. So, first off, Advent. And Advent in our house was like very, very religious. And there was one time that every week we like added more verses of O Come Emmanuel during Advent, which is like the 4 weeks before Christmas. And so it took like 35 minutes to sing O Come Emmanuel, and it's not a groovy song. It's very sad. It's what is that? You're the musical ones. It's like flat.
It's a dirge. It's like a dirge.
It's a minor key.
It's depressing.
See, do y'all remember having to do like the list of prayers and lighting the Advent candle? And it would take like 30 minutes before we could even eat.
But they would put
Yeah,
dinner
we'd
on the
be staring
table.
at dinner. Yeah, we'd be just sitting and just staring at food, and we'd be saying prayers.
Like,
in the
can't
dark.
we do this before?
In the dark.
In the dark. And it's like, can't we do this before we put the food on the table? Like, just leave it in the pot.
I mean, also to symbolize, like, why were we in the dark? Because we're waiting for Christ to come.
Where's Jesus? Might be easier to
More
find
like,
him
where's
if the
my
lights
helping of
were on.
spaghetti?
I can't remember who was with me the time we were traveling through South Dakota, and there was a church, and every single like part of the mass was sung to the tune of O Come Emmanuel.
Oh,
was it any of
I
you?
remember this.
It was so uncomfortable, and like every single time like any part of like the mass would come up, it was always like O Come Emmanuel. And Liz, and it must have been Liz if she remembers it, like we kept looking at each other like, again? Like,
it's happening again.
Like it's like taken over this church.
And there's 13 verses or something like that. Like, it's an insanely long.
Yeah. But we did get to play with fire.
With it. Yeah, you did get to play with fire. Just, let a bunch of 5-year-olds hold candles. That's a smart idea.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Everybody just hold a lighted candle in church. It's okay.
Oh, I meant more just lighting the Advent wreath on fire.
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh, I thought you literally meant midnight mass. Like, just have the kids hold a bunch of candles. That's fine.
No, that was dangerous. I always was like, this is going to end poorly, very poorly. And then I would get in trouble.
Just waiting for hot wax to drip on my hand. Like, you're like trying to balance it just right.
And it's got like a little paper thing.
No, you do it on purpose.
Yeah. You
do it on purpose, and then you peel it off while you're waiting for mass to end.
And then if you get a big chunk, you hold it over the flame and let the max melt back on us.
This is now a game.
I'm glad that the younger two at least know this game. We must have made it up together or like learned from each other. Like, hey, what you doing with that wax? Oh, here we go.
I would just always try to leave mine lit, and then I would get in trouble because I didn't blow it out. And then when I'd go to blow it out, I'd use my fingers to like lick your fingers.
Yeah.
And then I would get in
trouble.
You
used to do that on your birthday.
Yeah. I used to do it a lot. That's probably why I don't have feeling in my fingertips sometimes. Yeah, Advent was crazy, but we didn't open gifts till Epiphany. And so you'd have Advent, but then like December 6th, we would do stockings. And so like from December 6th to January 6th was just like a mix of like suffer and eat your fish, and then like, oh yay, mini celebration. And then like, suffer.
That's why it was always nice being out in like South Dakota with family, because we would open gifts from them, or like if Miss Lois was around, she would make mom let us open our gifts on Christmas or Christmas Eve. She's like, I'm only giving them to you if the kids can open them.
Well, they did start to like let us. We would open grandma's gifts on Christmas Eve, and we'd open grandfather and like Miss Lois gifts on Christmas Day.
Yeah, like Aunt
But
Jane do it. Like she sent a card. So there was like certain gifts from family that was opened
yeah,
on Christmas
it
Eve.
ended up being pretty much just like family gifts for Epiphany. But
Or mom
I
would
don't know.
actually do Advent during Advent. Like the 12 days of Christmas were actually like during like the 12 days of Christmas. So mom would like do little gifts instead of actual gifts.
I love the 12 Days of Christmas, which I don't know why people like totally mess that up. Like I was looking for an advent calendar just for fun. Like I enjoy getting them, and some of them are like 12 days. I'm like, that's not an advent calendar. That's the 12 days of Christmas. Like you're messing this up. Like Advent is before Christmas. And or not Advent, but like an advent calendar as they're called is from like they do December 1st to the 25th.
Christmas. Yeah.
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 Which technically doesn't completely cover Advent, but whatever. It's commercialized, so it doesn't matter. But that is like supposed to be the 25 days. The 12 days of Christmas is from Christmas to Epiphany. And so like when mom did the 12 days of Christmas, that was awesome because like you never knew when she was going to put it in the tree, like under the tree. And then like occasionally she would put stuff in the tree and then you wouldn't find it.
That one time with the gift cards in the tree, and we're all like, oh, there's nothing there. And she's like, y'all didn't find your stuff? No.
She's vindictive
And
with
we
the
were
gift giving
older
sometimes.
though. Like we were we were 14, 16, Phil, when that went down. And like we just kept like waiting for the gifts to get put out. Mom was like laughing at us because we couldn't find it. Like
Yeah, she had stuck them in the tree. The ornament she puts on there. How are we supposed to know?
they're just gone. The tree absorbs them.
No, there was like she put candy in the tree one year for us, and I think she did gift cards one time too. But she would also like she still does occasionally. She'll get you like something really small and then like put it in a box inside of a box inside of a box inside of a box, and you're like, after the third box, you're like, I don't want it.
I did
I don't
that
want
for
this gift.
Liz. I did that for Liz one year. I had this really beautiful wrapped huge box, and inside that box was a drawing, and it said, I don't remember. I like did a little drawing for like each box though, and
Yeah,
she
it
opened
was
it up.
like, keep going. You're almost there.
Yeah, it was a little wise man in the distance, and it's like, are we there yet?
Those are so frustrating, but also at the same time,
It's
humorous
funny.
for everybody else.
Yeah, it's funny to watch like the other people get pissed off. I know one year mom did like one of the gifts for each of us was like that. And so like as like after you did yours, you just felt like so much like justification when someone else got theirs and you just got to sit there and laugh at them and be like, yeah, it sucks, doesn't it? Like, one of my favorite things is always decorating the house because mom would go big and we'd always get something new. The one thing I hate though is like glitter goes everywhere. She got like they're like Christmas trees that are just like covered in gold glitter, and she has like I don't know 12 of them in varying sizes.
Oh my gosh, I was like, what are you talking about? And then I'm like, oh my god, yeah, they normally are up on like what used to be the shelves.
Like the mantle.
But no,
Yeah.
like I hate
Well, she
that
put 'em on the
time.
mantle,
I'm
too.
like, y'all have fun. I'm just gonna disappear, and you guys can do whatever you want. Play
I
your
wish
Christmas
I could have
music.
disappeared. Dorothy
I
would
always
drag me
got
out
away
there.
where I got away with like disappearing for like the 2 days that went down, and
I was
especially when
just like,
Dorothy like moved back in, I was out. I
I
was
was just like,
out.
let me play some Christmas tunes on the piano while you
Liz,
guys
that's your
do your
excuse for
thing.
everything.
Yeah,
You know what?
It is
I
the
am
excuse.
creating
The excuse.
ambiance for everybody.
Or
Sorry, I can't do
pissing everyone off.
dishes.
You are
I can't.
welcome.
You
Yeah,
were
but
the like queen of getting out of shit by like being like, "Oh, I'll play the piano," and Mom's like, "Oh, I love when you play the piano," and we're like, "She's playing you right now."
you know what?
No one wanted
It's
me to
called
play the piano.
it's called a win-win, is what that is.
Yeah, Phil
Well, actually,
I could never get away with that.
3 hours of fur Elise killed me. Sorry.
I didn't play 3 hours of Fur Elise.
Isabel did.
It was me. It was all me. I literally played like the entire song at different speeds, different tempos. I probably changed the key at some point. It was 3 hours. I was not well.
and I'm over there with like chopsticks, like, "Look at me go."
Dorothy just eating everything with chopsticks.
She
I mean,
meant the song.
I could play.
Although we did get chopsticks one year for Christmas.
We did.
No,
That
Dorothy
was
eats everything with chopsticks. If Dorothy can eat it with chopsticks, she eats it with chopsticks. But no,
well.
she did mean the song.
We
Yeah, we got those cute
To-
little chopsticks for Christmas that one year.
yeah, that was like a
I still have
really.
mine.
I do too. It's in Elizabeth's basement. Christmas that we got the chopsticks though is like a really interesting year because it was like after Max was born and like money was really tight. And Mom like felt really bad that they didn't get us more, but it was like some of the best stuff that we got. Like we got those chopsticks and we were obsessed. I think we all used those chopsticks for like every meal.
I still
Like,
have
Were we
mine.
that young when we got those? Because like
Yeah.
I still have mine.
I don't think you
Like,
guys. I don't know if you guys used yours because you didn't really use them as much. When I came back from college, is
well,
when
like I would use chopsticks. It's like the little old lady taught
But we
us
didn't
at
learn till we were
the
like 10.
buffet. No,
We
we
were
were
like
younger
10.
than that.
I learned from the lady at Tang's.
Oh no, I've been using them since Michigan. At one of the buffets that Mom and Dad would take us to.
oh, it's probably the one in that little town. What is that called?
It was
Outside
like
of
the bigger.
Freeport.
It's not. No, not
Hastings.
Hastings. It was literally. It was a place that Mom and Dad would meet up to have lunch occasionally, and it wasn't the fast one. It was like the slower one where they had like actual really good food, like Green Dragon or something. I don't know. That's where I learned.
I have no memory of this, but I don't remember a lot. I feel like I have just like spots where I'm like, yeah, I was a teenager at some point. Like,
Some
When we were talking about like decorating the tree, one of my favorite, and this is maybe before Isabel and Philomena's time, but we made homemade ornaments with the lids from the canning jars. Do you remember that, Dorothy? We like poked holes in them and like
that
made
was
designs.
that California?
It may have been. That was like
That-
one of my favorite like activities we did around Christmas though, was making
You're like,
those.
I get to use a sharp object
Yeah.
and punch holes in this lid.
Better than attacking people with forks.
fair enough.
What were you
No,
saying?
Mom never had us create. We never created any like decorations except with We made them with Mrs. Link. All the ones I remember making was Mrs. Link.
We made those bead ornaments. They were blue and white, the wire snowflakes. We made those with Mom.
Oh, and you guys made the little angels out of the safety pins. I don't know if you necessarily wanted to.
I don't
them,
remember
but
the angels. I don't remember the angels. I remember those snowflakes, but the snowflakes was associated with Elizabeth and Dorothy going to Germany. That's when we made those.
Yeah,
like
that
they're
was when
gone.
we made those.
Mom's like, I don't have to worry about them, so let's do this.
Or like we did the popcorn strings, like stringing popcorn. We did that like a couple of years.
Who was
I'm so glad I didn't do that.
one of our friends was over and was like, "This is so much fun," and we're like, "I've stabbed myself 7 times.
Yeah, it
I'm
wasn't
so
fun.
over this."
It was not fun.
Because Mom
I
was like, 10 pieces of popcorn, and then
A
a
cranberry.
cranberry.
It had to
So-
be perfect.
Oh my
too.
God.
It was
It
ridiculous.
did look really cool on the tree, I have to say. And there wasn't like any butter or anything on the popcorn, so you can even like eat it while you did it because it didn't taste good.
Yeah, you were just forced to like look at it.
It was a very long afternoon.
Well, I
So-
think my favorite Christmas ornament that we ever like were putting up were Mom's little birdies because she always had like pairs, so she always tried to set them all up cute. I think those were my favorites because like you always were like, where did Mom put the birds?
Yeah, we got her a lot of bird sets that we put in her stocking. Like once Liz and I got older, we're like, why doesn't Mom get a stocking? And it's because Dad never got her one because Mom was like in charge of. Mom did all the stocking stuff, so I think Dad would like Mom would put him in charge of like getting the gift cards or stuff that we would get, but she's the one that like kind of put together like what was actually going in the stocking.
Oh, we should also mention that we got our stockings on December 6th. We did not get our stockings on Christmas Day. The stockings were December 6th on St. Nicholas.
Yeah,
Feast
I said
day.
it was on December 6th, but I didn't explain why. Yeah, we were real Catholic. And so
Also, that's my birthday, so double the
Yeah,
gift,
you're
which is cool, but also not because it's like condensed all into one.
a stocking
And everybody
baby.
else gets gifts on my birthday, and then I just get extra gifts, but now it's all at one time.
it was
That's one thing.
I mean, it was
I always
separate
wanted
though.
my birthday separate. Like, I always wanted my birthday to be further away. But we're all right around Christmas except for Dorothy and Max.
Yeah, she's like, let me have this celebration all on my own. Oh wait, Independence Day is right around the corner.
I get those fireworks are from me. Just so we're
Dorothy's
clear.
got the best holiday to have a birthday around.
I do. I really do because like everyone's just like down to chill or hang out because it's the 4th of July. So
Yeah, I'm like, mine's Thanksgiving. All of my friends are with their family.
I'm like, good
Yeah.
luck getting to me in February.
like what was like something you hated about Christmas though? Like
Decorating.
Decorating.
Definitely.
I'm just over there with Mom putting stuff up and you guys are like angry.
There's a reason I now only have a single box, basically, of items that is Christmas, fall, and spring. Like, it all fits basically into one box, except for the boxes I use to decorate because I'm cheap and I don't want to spend a bunch of time on it. So it's just a box.
No, it was decorating, and then I have to say, midnight mass in the Eastern Rite.
Oh, I might have to change my answer.
So I only remember midnight mass there like once, or did we even do?
If you actually did all of the services, all of the prayers, everything around it, what, you would be there from like 6 a.m. on and off, and then you'd go there at like 10 p.m. to be like saying prayers beforehand, and then it actually starts at midnight, and then you're there till like 6 a.m. the next morning because then you have a feast afterwards. Like,
And then you have to be back at the church at 10 a.m.
10.
It was awful.
Is
I
that
did not experience this.
is that that's what you did in Tennessee, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we did
yeah.
in Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they did it that extreme when we were in Michigan, but it was I mean it was still more intensive.
We have we had a guy who is now a monk or a brother or something. I don't know exactly his title. Then we had I'm just gonna say Ed, and he was all about it. And then we had, Mr. Extremism. And so, and then we had our family who would be dedicated to show up to everything. So it was the perfect storm to do all of the pieces that you possibly could. We basically did what like monks would do in the Eastern Rite because they have all the pieces and all the time in the world to do it.
That's no. Yeah, that gets a bit excessive. Like I really liked Midnight Mass, but I liked it in the like Western Rite, not the Eastern Rite. Like
Yeah,
just the
I always,
regular like Catholic Midnight Mass. I
yeah,
really
like
love doing that.
it was wonderful to like go, and then mom would like have food that's like cooking while we're at mass.
And
Or
Can
you
I just
got to
occasionally
harvest
leave mass
potatoes?
early because you would be
with
there.
you get to leave early with mom to go take the ham out of the oven. Yeah.
Yes.
I
But it
never
was just
understood that. I'm like, we're all supposed to stay together for this. Plus, if you left early, though, you did miss on the Hallelujah chorus, and you guys know, like, I go crazy for that even today. Like, love the Hallelujah chorus. I am down.
I liked when we went to St. Francis, the
I,
midnight mass there was really um I don't know, cool. This was this was the church where you screamed I want a hot dog one
okay,
time.
then it is the same church.
yeah.
Okay. And it's also the church where I think it was actually a midnight mass that you fell asleep and we were sitting in kind of like a weird pew because like it had a pew and then it was like a walkway and then there was like where the kneelers were because it was like a walkway there. But
And
then
they had
there's
this
this
sound.
soundboard
Yeah.
was there and our friend's mom, his mom was the one who like was running the soundboard and Isabel was like totally asleep and like somewhat wakes up and we're all like holding our breath because Isabel could wake up really upset occasionally.
Still
Because
do.
she was like a toddler at the time, but she like halfway wakes up, stands up, and we were kneeling at the time. So we're like on the like across an aisle, essentially kneeling. And like you get up and like stumble over to our friend's mom thinking that it's mom and like grab onto her and you're still like half asleep and we're all like holding our breath like okay, don't realize it's not mom, don't realize it's not mom because like your reaction would be like any kid to like freak out. And it's like we're like all like holding our breath as like it's in the middle of like the quietest part of mass because it's the Eucharist, they're
The
like
consecration.
the consecration and we're like sitting there like oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, and then like it got to like where we stand back up and like dad went over and like grabbed you and like our friend's mom just thought it was like really cute and funny but it was like literally like a moment of terror for us like this could go bad real quick.
This could be the beginning of the end.
Especially after the I want a hot dog screaming incident in church, which was my
Yeah.
favorite thing ever because that was like such but they wouldn't let us like you had to fast before church and like I think that time we'd gone to like an 11 a.m mass and you were like I haven't had breakfast and it's lunchtime. Like
And those masses always tended to run long too. It wasn't like
yeah,
an hour mass. It was like an hour and a half or an hour and 45 minutes. So,
yeah, that's like yeah, it's not as bad as making the mistake of going to the like Easter vigil but it's close.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
where you're like, okay, and now we have you being christened, and we're doing this now. All the different pieces that go
You're like
down.
4 hours later.
You're like, we should have just gone to 10 a.m., sucked it up, deal with the traffic, and all the people who aren't actually Catholic who just show up magically to the services on Easter morning, and you're like, oh shit, there's people who actually show up. The church isn't 3/4 empty. Now we have extra chairs and people are standing in the narthex.
One of my favorite things though about midnight mass is that it was so late that like even mom would get like a little bit silly because she was like tired. And so like one of our things is quoting While You Were Sleeping, which is a lovely movie.
I still don't know how it got associated with Christmas, but other than it happened
around Christmas.
It happens around Christmas, but it's not a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas
if people
movie.
say Die Hard is a Christmas movie, then While You Were Sleeping
is definitely a Christmas movie.
And Isabel, you needed to know before Mass that the mashed potatoes are so creamy.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Isabel hates us quoting this movie.
Because you only do it in church. Like 99% of the time, it's only during church. It's not like it happens regularly unless there's mashed potatoes. And then it's obvious at the dinner table. Rest of the time, it just doesn't matter.
It's because there's a whole scene that takes place in church. So you have to say all those quotes while you're at that part of church. And it like
How
spans.
he get to be elector? He takes marijuana.
Your accent is so on.
It's great. The quotes are great, but there has been multiple midnight mass where like even like before the mass starts, we're like saying quotes that aren't the mass scene that we wait for the time of mass to say. And Isabel, like one Christmas, was so annoyed with me and Philomena that she like got up and went and sat like on the other side of mom and dad.
I think that was the year that cemented. I'm pretty sure that's the year that like cemented it being a thing. But I think y'all were just like, we're just going to annoy the shit out of Isabel. But after that, it's like, well, now we got to do it every year without fail. Sure, we have a picture. You took a picture of us, like, all in the. I'm pretty sure I have a picture of us at that mass, and I'm like, that's the year that it happened.
I think I got the picture during Mass. I think Dorothy sent it to me.
I did.
I was like, these mashed potatoes are so creamy, sent Isabel to the end of the queue.
I was definitely, I remember that year because I did take like a couple photos and send to you because I knew you were, I don't know if you were playing piano for Mass or what,
I think so. I always do. Like Christmas is like the big holiday, obviously, or like one of the bigger ones.
And so I was like, yeah, she's up.
That was the day. I'm pretty sure I got it during my own Mass.
Well, because like actually, like they actually did Mass at 12 that year. I know it was like an actual midnight Mass. There's always like the different levels of midnight Mass. Is it like the 10? Is it the 8? Is it like 11? So you end at 12?
That is a pet peeve of mine. Like, don't call it midnight Mass if it isn't happening then. Because then everybody's confused and everybody's asking everybody else, what time is the midnight Mass? And you sound like an
idiot. No, there's so many. No, there's like, when is midnight Mass? Well, fucking midnight. Like, sorry. That's when it is.
It's in the question.
And then they like, I think there was a time that like we showed up and it was like already partway through because it started at 11:30 and we're like, what is this? Like, or no, it started at 11 and we showed up early to get seats for midnight Mass.
And then, luckily we were there as it was starting. Yeah.
No, we were there like halfway through, but we just were like, well, we showed up and we just stayed.
Yeah, we missed like the first reading, I think is what it was. And so mom like
it wasn't
made us
the
all
full
mom made us read the first reading real quick.
Well, in Grandpa's eyes, you were late because if you don't beat the priest down the aisle, then you're late. But if you do,
I'll breed him back out the aisle.
If you do, if you sneak in through the side door while the priest is walking down the aisle, you are not late.
Oh, I remember Grandpa saying that. He's like,
Yeah,
that's why I walk in the front.
yeah. That's why I use
Like
the side
Scott and
door in the
Grandma.
front.
Well, like Scott and Grandma always hated going in like the side door, but they always did it anyways. So I'm like, I don't understand why you're angry about this, but then you're doing it anyways. Making me minds.
But no, there was a midnight mass. It was actually St. Michael's. So it was Eastern Rite. But I was next to Mom, and I can't remember what we started laughing about, but like it was one of the things that got like, you know, when Mom's doing the laughing but she's like shaking.
The
And like,
silent
Yeah.
laugh, and you know she's gonna start cackling in a second.
but we're like in the back on the right, so like it's not terrible, but at the same time, like there's what, like 5 pews, so like
Yeah, there's not.
it's Mom like and I are dying, and Dad is like literally giving us a like disapproving like looks,
It's always the other way
which never
around.
happened.
Yeah, Dad never gives a disapproving look.
And he's literally
Okay,
like,
no,
what is wrong with you guys?
he does, but when he does it, you know you fucked up. Like you know you done wrong. Otherwise, it's just every other Sunday for Mom. But when Dad does it, you're gone. You're gone.
Oh my gosh. No, it was hilarious. And then the fact that Dad gave the look made Mom laugh even more. She ended up having to like walk out because then it's like she made her start coughing and she had to walk out. But it was hilarious.
That's a good cover, though. It wasn't a laugh. It was me trying to get this coughing fit to stop.
Mom's been able to use that excuse for a few years then.
There is like I really miss when we lived in Michigan having the fireplace, because then you had the stockings above the fireplace, and it was like so much the night before Christmas with how our house was set up then, because it was just like super cute. We got to
You
sit
had the
by the
Christmas
fire.
tree. I remember one year waking up in the middle of the night and I was really excited because it was Christmas, but I knew I couldn't wake anybody else up. So I actually went and laid in front of the fireplace. And I remember Dad finding me in the morning.
That's
Aw,
so cute. I love
I
that.
fell asleep behind the Christmas tree one time and dreamt that Santa came through the door, and I'm like, that's how he gives us presents.
Do you know why she was under the Christmas tree? Because I had convinced her that it was a good idea for us to see Santa that night and that we should go out, sneak out, and be really quiet, crawl under the tree, and wait for him to come.
To see
And
if he was real.
yes, because I had to know, and I needed a partner in
So
crime.
then she decides, if we're both under the tree, then he'll see us. So only one of us should go, which was me. Because
This is
So-
pure
I don't
Liz.
remember that part. I think you just fell asleep, and I was like, I missed my bed.
No, this is pure Liz. Like if one of us is gonna get in trouble with Santa, it ain't gonna be me.
yeah, that's like, in case he's real, I still want presents. So you go be the person. And I literally like went out, crawled under the tree. And what's crazy is like Mom and Dad came and put gifts out and they didn't see me. Like, but we had, I'm pretty sure it was a real tree too.
It
So it was
was
like
a real tree. This
bushier.
was in California. Yeah.
And like the tree was like in a corner that was kind of like an alcove because there was a fireplace.
And we had cathedral ceilings, so it was a tall tree.
It was a big tree. And so like I had like crawled like as a small child, like did the army crawl in all the way into the corner and like yeah, past like was staying awake waiting for Santa and then fell asleep, and I dreamt that Santa came through the door and brought a bunch of presents, and then I woke up and there was gifts under the tree. So I
Therefore-
run into the room and I'm like, he's real. He's real.
That's so
And that's
cute,
like
though.
that's like the opposite of like what anything like Philomena and I experienced when we tried to find out if Santa was real, and we asked Dad about the garbage out back. That went well.
Yeah.
You're like, why does Santa leave the trash?
Dad's like, oh, sometimes you just can't keep it all in his sleigh. That didn't hold over well.
You're like, isn't the sleigh magic?
You're like,
I don't think I was quite that smart yet to pull it off. I don't think I was even 7 when that went down.
I had just turned 5. So you were 6.
Yeah, because it was like right around the time Max was born. Because like I remember it was like, yeah, because Maximilian was born, so I might have been 7. Because Max was getting toys, so we might have been 7, 8. But
Remember the year that I
You guys-
nearly ruined the best Christmas, or I guess it was a St. Nicholas gift ever? The
who
rollerblades.
did?
Oh,
I
she
did.
ruined St. Nicholas gifts.
I did. It was.
She wanted, because once again she was being a nosy little
I just.
poop, and she's like,
I know what was happening. I think we were playing hide and go seek.
no, you were
Yes.
searching for gifts.
We were
For-
playing hide and go seek.
That's the story you told Mom, was that we were playing hide and go seek. You were searching for your birthday gifts.
There was a closet, Mom and Dad's closet.
Yeah,
And
we
I
were always
happened
taught
to-
not to go in there because Mom and Dad had guns in there.
They
Well, I
did not
think
in
they-
California.
Well, they did in Michigan, maybe. But
Yeah,
yeah,
they had a
so I
gun
happened,
safe by that point.
I happened to open the closet and I found rollerblades, and I was so excited. I was like it was the 90s, like rollerblades were the thing. Like I was like, sweet, I am getting rollerblades. Like so excited. I don't remember. Did I tell you, Dorothy? Is that what I like? I can't remember.
Yeah, you told me, because you're like, I'm getting rollerblades for my birthday, and you were so excited. And I don't know if Mom overheard that or what, but she's like, why were you
Or
in
she
my
wanted me-
closet?
Yeah, I think she
And-
was like, I was like, oh, what am I getting? And she's like, oh, well, if you guess. And I was like, I know it's rollerblades or something like that, because I was a smart ass little kid. And she got so mad. She like blew up. She was so
She's like,
angry.
why were you in my closet? And she's like, we were playing hide and seek. No, we weren't.
Sure we were.
And then she's like, well, now just try them on so I know if they fit. And like pulls out a second pair of rollerblades. It was the best day ever. I'm like, I get rollerblades. And that was, Liz had been like, I'll have rollerblades and you won't have rollerblades. And I'm like, now I get rollerblades. Like, I was so excited at that
Anyways,
point.
crisis averted, but it was scary for a moment.
I think it's really funny because Mom and Dad always try to give us like all kind of like the same gifts because they knew we were competitive little creatures and we would like try to like get the toy otherwise. But like I have a friend who like purposefully gets her kids different toys so they can't argue over them, and I'm like, my parents had to do the same thing because we were too competitive. Like you can't race on a bike and a scooter. You have to have the same thing to fight against each other. Like, it has to be the same.
Yeah, otherwise it's not fair. Or you can say like, oh, well, you have a scooter, so it's harder. No, it's not. No, I still won. It's funny, like, when you're little, like, how important the gift, like, aspect is. Like, it's funny seeing, my boyfriend's, like, niece and nephews and, like, how excited they are for, like, presents, but it's, like, crazy at the same time because they, like, open a gift and they're like, next one! Like, and I know they're
Like,
excited, like, as soon as as soon as they're all open, they'll like, you'll see like what was the thing they were like most excited about, because that's like what they immediately go back to.
Oh yeah.
And we've kind of gotten away from giving gifts, which I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've reached a point in my life where I'm like, I don't need more stuff unless it's socks. I could use more socks. Like,
Honestly, I saw a meme where it was like, all your kids are adults. This should be the gift. And it's like toothpaste, like your favorite drink, and like laundry detergent, which, like, honestly, I still get laundry detergent from mom and dad. But, like,
Gas gift card. Like, yeah.
The
it's
practical things.
the practical things where it's like, mom and dad, I'm an adult, but I don't want to be. Help me.
yeah, exactly.
Which you're the reason we always get fuzzy socks for Christmas, because you're like, I need socks.
It's so funny. And like the interesting part of it is like, I don't know, the history of it, which I love, is like the big thing used to be like back in the day, like you were lucky if you got like a piece of fruit for Christmas Day. Like it wasn't like this big thing. And then as it started to get commercialized, it was candy was the gift that you should give. And then like it's obviously blown up from there. But it's so funny as you get older where it's like, yeah, it's good.
I
Well,
did
it's
like
also
I did like our gift giving where it wasn't like us kids didn't get each other like huge gifts. It was like $25. You draw a name from a hat, you get that one person a gift. Like
I
it
do
wasn't
like how
super
simple it
expensive.
was.
Yeah.
Like, because I know people who, like, they get stuff for all of their siblings. I'm like, how can your parents, like, afford that? Or, like, handle that? And they have, like, 5 or 7 kids. It's like, how are y'all pulling that off? How are y'all doing that? And it's not
Yeah.
all like they made all their shit. Like, their kids all bought things for each other.
First year that I was together with Joe, we were talking about like limits. He's like, okay, like, well, let's not go crazy. Like, let's say a $200 limit. I was like, oh, no. Like, I'm like, I don't know what you think you're getting, but no. And
I
he's like,
spent
oh,
I spent
but
100 on my first boyfriend because that's like was cheap to him, and I was like, I've never spent $100 on my siblings, and I kind of like them more than you. Like, no.
no, that's yeah. I just gift giving wasn't like you weren't supposed to break the bank. And like honestly, I'm sorry, after a certain price point, it's like, why don't we, if we're spending this much, let's put it together and like buy plane tickets. Like put it towards a trip or an experience or
Get something that you actually want out of it. Yeah.
yeah, like and there's stuff like I'll take note, like if he says he wants something, like during the year, I'll get him something that he's mentioned. But at the same time, like we live in a small space. We don't have room for more stuff. Like
I don't have a microwave, for God's sake. Like, I don't need more shit. Says a person who just
you
placed an order on Amazon for stuff. That's besides the point. But whatever.
you also don't have room for more stuff. Like your place is like as full as it can be. But
Yeah,
it definitely
all my stuff is pretty much secondhand. I can name in this room right now 2 things that I did not buy brand new, excluding my clothing that happened to be in the room.
we're like
But
the people we're like the opposite. People are like, "Oh, I got this at blah blah," and you're like, "I didn't pay for any of this."
I like when
And
people
if I
come in and they're
did,
like,
it
"Oh,
was
like
discounted.
your." Well, when people are like, "Oh, like your chair is so nice," I'm like, "Oh yeah, like my friend gave it to me. They were just getting rid of it." Like, I know it's a nice chair, but I did not buy it. Do not think I have money, because bitch, I don't.
I
So
love
That
how
was
thrifty Isabel is. Like, but everything looks so nice. Like your place, like I know it's like on a smaller scale, like single girl in school, but like it's so cute. Like your space is adorable.
it's very much a reflection of you and decorated for you, whereas like my place, it's it's like a mishmash of like random things and secondhand things too. Just
Well, I was
like,
gonna say
but
a
they're
lot
not
of your
as.
stuff is too. And
It's
even like for Liz, like a lot of your stuff is like even in the room you're sitting in, the bed you have
The
is from mom and
bed,
dad.
the
yeah,
bookcase, the table that this is on is like a table from Steve's parents' house. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
But at the same, there's so much nice stuff. Like I like my TV stand is two like side tables, and they're very nice. But I got them for $50 from one of the people I work with who was leaving town.
And so
Like,
Amanda's like, I bought all mine secondhand.
I'm over here like I'm
no,
literally
she's like, these are not used, they're antiques.
I only have two things in my room that are actually mine. I only own two things, and mom's threatening to take away the other thing, which is a bookcase. But the other two things I did get for really cheap from working at an antique store. I got to buy them at
What?
cost
Why is mom taking one?
because it's her bookcase, and like I'm gonna try and steal it when I move out, but I might not get to.
Well,
One of my, speaking of gift giving though, like, I know Steve and I are kind of around the same thing. Like, $100 is like the max. And usually we don't even spend that much on each other, except for one year. I made a list for him. I'm just like, things I wouldn't mind having. He went out and bought every single one of the items on my list. I was like, what are you doing? And Philomena, I think, helped him shop.
He was so sweet. He's like, I know Liz and I kind of like have a budget and she doesn't like us going over it, but you know, she's been really good to me this year and like I want to do stuff for her and like I just I feel like if I just get her everything that's on this list, like she's like it's not a whole lot, but like I want to get everything for her because she's been so sweet to me this year. And like so we spent a whole day just getting all the gifts.
And
Was that like when you guys first started dating?
oh,
No,
no,
that was the Christmas I stuck all those boxes with the drawings together.
we lived
Oh.
here.
So you
But
guys were married by that point.
I think we were married or about to get married.
You
One of the
were married because that was the year Mom, Dad, Max, and I came out for Christmas.
okay.
I was like, I think I remember Liz saying it, but I definitely wasn't.
Did
But
we
then
spend
I
Like
a
feel like
year?
the cheapo idiot who like only got him one gift, and there's like 8 gifts under the tree, and I was like, what did you buy? And he's like, it's fine, don't worry. Like, and of course,
Oh,
like everything, he got me like a ton of stuff, and I'm like, here's your one little gift. Not that he even cared, but yeah.
And he was
It was
happy. Like
very
he was so happy just like going and getting you all that stuff. And actually one of the things on your list I got you. So I got you the Ulta gift card.
no. Thank you for that. She fulfilled the list.
Told me, and I was like, I got that one, Steven. Don't worry. I got that one covered.
I don't know. It's I feel like we've all kind of backed away from the gift giving, except for when it comes to Max, because he's the baby. He's our brother. He has cerebral palsy, and like Christmas is a big, like a big deal to him. So
Like
we
getting
always try to.
gifts.
Well,
He just
also,
likes
like,
gifts.
being the youngest, there's a 16-year difference between him and I. So, like, I feel like
Actually, have that many years between you and him?
he still
Because, like,
owed some gifts from me for a while.
He's
he still owes
actually
some gifts from me.
he actually said something to me not too long ago about like he's like, I know we're not doing gifts this year, but like he's like, I'll have to put this on my list for mom and dad. I don't remember what it was. I think it was a Pokemon box set that he wanted. But like I like
I feel
didn't
like
tell
Are
him we're
mom and
still
dad
doing gifts for him.
cutting him off finally?
No, they still get him
No,
stuff.
mom and dad, but
Okay.
he knows that we talk about not giving gifts, and I think he's kind of catching on to that. And like,
That we don't get each other stuff unless it's just like, here's $25. I thought of you once. Here you go. I bought this like 6 months ago, and you're just getting it now.
Yeah, because this
yeah,
is when I'm seeing you.
Yeah.
well, we did the
'cause
gift exchange.
It's always like at Thanksgiving. Always.
We did that like small gift exchange. Well, it was the year that you guys all got the vid from us because we traveled. So you guys all got sick. So that was our
Oh
gift
yeah.
exchange. You know what we have not mentioned is Christmas food.
Jello, lime Jello with marshmallow topping.
That Jello is so good. I made it for some people here, and they're like, "What is this?" And I was like, "It's the greatest." I didn't make the lime Jello, but I made the topping, and I put
What
it
did you
on
put
top
it
of
on?
something else.
Did you do like the orange Jello instead?
Or raspberry. It's good on raspberry.
I
Ooh,
can't
you
remember
know
what
what
I
would be
put it
really
on.
good? It would be good on would be like pudding,
Ooh, yeah.
like some good chocolate pudding.
Oh,
Anyway,
I put it on pumpkin pie. I put it on pumpkin pie.
Ooh,
Is what
that
it
would be
was.
good.
That is one of the
oh
best
my
things to
gosh,
do.
And
If
you know
there's
what's
such a
really
good
good?
combo.
Put it in your like on top of your coffee, like hot
Oh,
coffee.
I've done that
Or hot
before.
chocolate.
When
Hot
mom made a
chocolate.
bunch of it one year, she like doubled the recipe by accident, and we had a bunch of it. Yeah.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you guys remember, like I know Liz does, but I don't know if you guys were old enough to remember when we would make chocolates? Like actually like the like
Yeah.
Yeah, we
mold
had
and make
the
the chocolate.
molds.
Yeah, mom always had all the
We would make like caramels
Caramel,
and
chocolate
uh
dipped Oreos.
yeah, maple creams for grandpa and cherry bean. I don't think we made the cherry bean bars. I think
No,
that
mom would
was
make
Uncle
divinity though.
Scott.
She would do divinity the same day because if she was doing all that, it normally meant that the humidity was perfect, so she'd make divinity
And
for
she
grandma.
would
I
yeah,
think
the
she did
dipped
like peppermint,
pretzels,
Oh,
peppermint
whenever
Oh,
she
bark.
peppermint
did,
bark.
yeah, I think the
yeah, she
peppermint
would do
part.
all of that.
Peppermint
I just
bark was
remember
so
one
good.
year walking into the living room in Michigan and they were just being like on the table, just candies and chocolates and being like, this is awesome. And mom was like, do not touch anything. And it's like, oh, okay.
There is always like certain levels of things too. Like then it was like cookie day where literally she would bake like tons of cookie, like her date nut chocolate cookies,
Monster
And sugar
cookies.
cookies and
sugar
orange cookies.
cookies, and with a
The
frosting, and we just be like frosting cookies all day that were going to be given away to like the neighbors and friends
Why
or
y'all let us touch those cookies before we were 16? It was pointless.
those sugar cookies were so good. And
Oh,
like
I should make some and take to
especially
school.
with like if they sat there for like because they would get put into the Tupperware and then you would eat them over Christmas. But like when they were like a week and a half old, they were so good. Which
Okay,
sounds gross.
the ones specifically in the green tub with the white lid hit different.
Yes.
They hit
Yes.
different, and I do not know why. They
That
like
that
I
magic
do
Tupperware,
not
I need it.
know. I
That's
do like going up like on the 4th of July up to the lake. Like I remember like eating like a star cookie, and I just remember being like, "This is the best cookie." And when I think of like the best cookie I've ever had, if somebody's like, "What's your best cookie you've ever had?" It's that cookie.
yeah, it
Like
came out
it's
of that green Tupperware with the white lid and
yeah.
I call that
I
is
don't know
something that
because
I want.
mom still has it. I'm pretty sure we would not have let her gotten rid of that. I
Yeah,
think
No,
you
I
would
no,
have
it's in
shouldn't.
you would have
storage.
taken it. You would have taken it,
Yeah, it's in
but
storage, I'm pretty sure.
no, like
Or at least I'm
Christmas
pretty sure it is.
foods, like the Christmas foods that we always did were always just so good. Like whenever mom does like a Ukrainian/Polish feast, like there's nothing better than like either like that
Pierogies.
first like the first couple bites
homemade.
and then like
Kapusta.
having those like leftovers for like a couple days, like especially like kapusta just like marinating in its own juices. Mm. nothing better.
So good. But the pierogies are just the
Oh, yeah.
homemade pierogies. Oh my gosh.
They're
So
so much
good.
better. Like her non-gluten-free ones are so much better, but her gluten-free ones are still really good. I try to let her be able to make regular ones this year, so just for the record, I did offer just to eat like bought ones. But she was like, "No, I'm making them. That way I'm feeding you."
I don't know. I was thinking of trying to make some pierogies, and I was looking up recipes, and I was like, I think I'm gonna have to call Liz and get the like church pierogi recipe.
I
That
might have it if Liz doesn't. But no, like and plus you have that pasta maker. I was thinking that might actually be like easy for you. Like just put the dough through, let it roll.
Speaking of
I
like food, and this is not Christmas necessarily, but going even earlier to Thanksgiving. Remember the year Philomena was born?
Oh my gosh. The year Phil was born, because like she
We
was
had
born at
our mom had a home birth, so it was
the day
wild.
before Thanksgiving.
It was the wildest experience. I could hear it all upstairs as I'm like hiding in the
as
basement
she's watching
listening.
a hockey game. Phil's born and
Screaming like
she's
a
like
psycho.
screaming because her favorite player
Brandon
Shanahan.
Shanahan.
Yes, girl.
got a freaking goal like right as like Phil is like exiting. And I on the other hand
Exiting.
I on the other hand am in the room watching this. No, 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 don't need any kids.
So
Phil
mom and I were
ruined all
both
birth.
screaming as Phil was born for different reasons. But there was like a midwife there and we made food. Didn't we have like
Now
Thanksgiving?
Dad went and got Chinese food that night. We had Chinese food, and then Mom got up and made Thanksgiving dinner the
Which
next day.
I don't
Yeah,
know how
I
she
remember
did
her
that.
telling.
Like,
She's
I
like,
do
I just
not
popped the
know.
baby out. Now I'm gonna stick a turkey in the oven. Like, what are you doing? Like,
And it was her first, like, I'm pretty sure natural birth. Because I don't think I was a natural birth either. Weren't we all three C-sectioned?
No, the first, I think you were natural,
Yeah.
but
you were natural. You just had
issues.
Because I was
issues.
early.
Yeah.
I wasn't that early. I was only
I
7
think
weeks, guys.
Isabel was a emergency C-section.
No,
I
Max was
know,
emergency C-section.
I know you
Mom was
and Dorothy were
worried.
both C-sectioned, but that's all I know.
I'm guessing you were probably a live birth because I don't think the midwife would have
Well,
agreed.
she was definitely a live birth.
Well, I mean,
A natural birth.
my mistake.
I've just been just hanging out with y'all.
No, she was early, but Mom's water broke because she was like, mom was like pregnant, but it was still like a month early,
I
and
was 7 weeks early, yeah.
but she's like, oh my gosh, I think my water broke, and I was like, she's like, smell it. I was like, I'm not smelling it, because she didn't know if she peed or if her water broke, and I'm like, ugh, like, so Mom like pregnant, having a panic attack because Dad's out of town, for like a business meeting, which she said, she's like, don't leave town. That's what happened with Liz. Like, I started going into labor when you were
She
gone.
talks about that all the time.
And
She's still bitter.
so then like
Bitter.
she gets down and smells it, and I'm like, what do I do? Do I call 911? Like, she's like, no, give me the phone. I gotta call Jean. So she like called, and like she came and picked up Mom, and like took her to the. She takes Mom to the hospital, and then Liz and I are just like chilling for a bit, and then she came back, picked us up, and we got to go hang out at her house. And then like Dad had to like hurry up and come back, and then I don't know. You were in the hospital for a bit.
for like a week. It wasn't actually that long, like in the like history of like preemies. I actually like got out pretty early, all things
Yeah.
considered. Because
I mean,
like
the
for
glass
most
table
people,
was
it's
broken. You were in
the
there
glass
long enough.
table.
Yeah, you were in there long enough for mom to get mad because they put you back on oxygen, which meant that you had to stay there longer. And she was like angry, and she went to go and like break this plate. Like she like tried to like hit it on the side of the table to break the plate, and it didn't break, and she made her like more frustrated. And then she like hit it again, and then the
table broke.
like glass table just like shattered, and that plate was still not broken, and mom was
Don't you
still
love
so
you?
mad that that plate was not broken.
What is wild is I remember that plate situation, but I didn't know the context of why it was happening.
Oh no, it was
Like,
Isabel got put back on the
No.
oxygen, but there was
but we
a
still have that plate,
Thanksgiving
guys. I know we still have that. That plate is in somebody's
that
possession. I think Dorothy's.
it might be
In my
in.
basement.
Yeah, that's where all the good stuff is. Um, but there was a Thanksgiving where mom was sick and she was in the hospital and like coming home, and so it was mainly
You and I, Dorothy, we had to figure out how to carve a turkey with my knowledge from grandfather.
yeah. And Isabel, you were helping too, weren't you, Izzy?
Mainly. I
Yeah.
think I was on max duty. I'm pretty sure because I don't remember cooking, but I remember coming up and you all had like out of the like downstairs and like y'all had like the knife and I was just like I'm good and I just like I just literally opened the door like I have a medical picture of you and Philomena with the carving knife and just being like I'm good, retract, I'm going backwards.
That was smart because I know we like took the bird out and we're like, you know, we're like putting it in different positions and being like, "Pay me like one of your French girls, Jack." Like,
I I thought that was before you guys put him in the oven because I definitely have
no, it
pictures
was.
of that happening.
It was.
I have pictures of Paint Me as One of Your French Girls, Jack, and it's named that on the computer. Like that is the name of the file.
Yeah, that was hilarious. But then yeah, we get everything cooked, like managed to get everything done, and then we take the bird out, and I was like, I've never carved a turkey. Oh, Izzy's got to go. Well, I was like, I've never carved a turkey, and then Philomena had to like go off of one time when grandfather taught her how to carve a chicken, and we managed to get it done. But all right, well,
Yes,
this is
I was impressed with us.
this is yeah, first episode, so hey, we'll see where it goes from here. But yeah, signing off.